So I'll go ahead and get started. Wanted to just give you kind of a brief update and wrap up into the investigation that occurred at the National Western Complex, the motorcycle swap meet that occurred January 30th, 2016 at approximately 12:48 p.m. So like we've gone through a lot of the details, previous stuff, but upon arrival, officers located 4 gunshot victims that were transported to local hospitals. 3 of them were in a critical condition, 1 in serious condition. One of those that was in critical condition was pronounced at Denver Health Hospital by Dr. Shepard at 1:27 p.m. That was Mr. Mendoza. The scene was secured as best as we could there and then processed with witnesses being transported to headquarters. We have been involved in a very active ongoing investigation since that time to include hundreds and hundreds of hours by the detectives, crime lab, and everybody else involved in this case. Bottom line, detectives learned that there was a confrontation. Normally I don't go into kind of the stuff, but I'm just going to go ahead and use the 2 groups being they're out there very well in the media and such. So confrontation between the Iron Order and the Mongols on a stairway in the complex. One shot. The original confrontation turned into a physical fight, and at one point, Mr. Duran wound up pulling out a gun. That gun had very little influence towards the deal. Several comments were made according to witnesses and according to Mr. Duran himself. He believed at that point, by what he's telling us, that he was in danger and fear for his life. He was in fear for the life of other individuals that were being assaulted. He fired 1 round with one party being struck at that point in time. Mr. Duran then went up towards the top of the stairs where they all kind of waited up there. Their group was separated. He believed they wanted to try to get their group together. We do have, based on video evidence and stuff, a lot of things corroborating what we had from the witnesses. So at the top of the stairs, Mr. Duran talks about being up there. Mr. Mendoza comes through the line of group, has a gun in his hand. He fires 1 time. That round wound up grazing Mr. Duran's side and then entering another individual, and that bullet remains in that individual. Mr. Duran then fired a shot back at Mr. Mendoza, striking him. At that point, the groups kind of took off to various locations seeking first aid for their help. Like I said, we have a lot of evidence that was found at the scene that was processed. We have video surveillance from the complex that was taken. We have other video that was obtained throughout the event that we looked at. Bottom line, we had upwards of the mid-40s in witnesses that we talked to in this case, either at the scene, brought down here for video interviews, or did phone interviews if they weren't there. Of those 40 plus witnesses, at least 17 of them were with the Iron Order that were there that day. Each and every one of them came down here. Mr. Duran, want to make it very clear that this has been a homicide investigation throughout. We have not considered this to be an officer-involved incident at all. Early on in the investigation, we looked up the state statute that is required, and Mr. Duran's color of authority is only applicable when he is at his facility that he is working. He is not a Class 1 peace officer, nor did Mr. Duran any time during this incident claim that he was taking action under his color of authority. So this has been a homicide investigation from the onset of that.